I want to talk about a specific feeling, a feeling that I have been running from for years. I call it blank space. Here's what I mean. Imagine you are sitting at your desk, you're trying to do something hard. Maybe you're writing a script. Maybe you're solving a problem for your business. Maybe you're just trying to make a decision about your life. And you hit a wall. You don't have the answer yet. The sentence isn't forming in your head. The solution isn't there. There's a there's a gap. There's a silence, a blank space. Now, intellectually we know what this is. That is just like thinking. That is the work. The work is wrestling with the blank space until you have the answer. But recently I realized something that terrified me. I've physically lost the ability to sit in that space. The the second, and I mean the microsecond I hit that mental block, my body physically rejects the silence. It's not just boredom. It it feels it feels dangerous. It feels like an itch behind my eyes. It it feels like a buzzing anxiety in my chest. It feels like if I don't fill this silence immediately with something, I'm going to crawl out of my skin. My brain screams, "Boy, this is not comfortable. Come out. Boy, this is just not comfortable. Just, you have to come out." So, what do? I don't even decide to do it. It just happened. I grab my phone. I check YouTube Studio. I check YouTube Shorts. I check emails. I refresh the page. If nothing is there, then I'm going to go back to YouTube. And that's what I do again and again, over and over. Am I looking for anything? No. Is there an emergency? No. I'm just trying to numb the discomfort of not knowing the answer. I'm using the screen to fill the void. And for a long time, I told myself, oh, that's just how I work. I'm just a little distracted. I'm just taking a break. But this week, I had to face the truth. This isn't just happening at my desk. This isn't just about productivity no more. This is bleeding into everything that I do. It is bleeding into my life. And it is bleeding into my marriage too. Here's the real moment from my life this week. My wife and I were just together. We were having a conversation about God knows what. I don't even remember, but I remember this. There was a full pause in that conversation, a blank space in that dialogue. And before I even consciously thought about it, my hand was in my pocket and my phone was in my face. She stopped talking. She looked at me and she said, "Ali, you are on your phone all the time now. I'm right here. We were having a conversation. Let's talk." In that moment, instead of apologizing to my wife, my defensiveness kicked in. My addict brain tried to protect itself. I said, "Well, you're on your phone too. I saw you scrolling earlier. You started it." I think I'm just playing a blame game here. I tried to make it her fault so I didn't have to look at myself. But later, when I stepped away and I let the sadness settle in, right? I knew she was right. I knew that I'm the part of the problem too. Actually, I'm a massive part of that problem. I realize that I tell myself this lie: it won't hurt. It's just a quick check. It's it's just one reel. It won't hurt. These are all the lies I tell myself, but it does hurt. It hurt my focus. It hurts my brain, and most importantly, it hurts the people I love. When I chose a screen over my wife's face, I'm hurting us. I'm I'm hurting our relationship. And if you feel that too, if you feel like you can't sit still for 60 seconds without input, if you feel like your life is slipping through your fingers while you stare at the screen, then we need to have a serious conversation about your brain. Because this isn't a bad habit. This isn't just procrastination. This is biological this is biological hijacking. This is episode 1 of Dopamine Protocol. For the next month on Kaizen for Life, we are going to fix this. We are going to dismantle this addiction brick by brick. But before we can fix it, we have to understand the machine. We have to understand why we do this. Because the biggest lie you tell yourself is that you are lazy. You tell yourself you just lack discipline. You tell yourself you are a bad husband or a bad wife. But you are not lazy. You are chemically enslaved and you don't even know it. Look at the science. This is dopamine reward pathway in your brain. Specifically, the connection between the ventral tegmental area and the nucleus accumbens. Most people think dopamine is pleasure molecule. They think dopamine makes you feel good. That is wrong. That is a myth. Dopamine is not about liking. Dopamine is about wanting. It is the molecule of craving. It is the molecule of more. When you look at your phone, when you see that red notification badge, your brain isn't saying this will make you happy. Your brain is simply saying this might change my life. It is driven by something called reward prediction error. This is the key to understanding your addiction. If you check your email and you know exactly what's in there, you get 0 dopamine. If you know for the fact that nothing is happening, you are getting a 0 dopamine, right? But if there is a chance, if there's 1% chance that you have a viral video, if there's a 1% chance of a DM from your hero or from your superhero, if there's a chance, just 1% chance of some kind of a good news, then what's going to happen? That uncertainty causes your dopamine to spike through the roof. It is the exact same mechanism that drives gambling addiction. The slot machine is addictive because you don't know if you'll win. And also, you are assuming, what if I do? What if this next one is the one where I win big? Dopamine is just kicking in, skying through the roof. And here is the problem with the modern world. We have put a slot machine in our pockets, and we have access to it 24 hours a day, whenever we want. So let's go back to that blank space at my desk. Remember, I hit a mental block, right? My brain runs a quick calculation. It's an efficiency machine, right? So it gives me 2 options. Option A, sit with your pain of thinking. the cost for it, it's going to be a very high cognitive effort, right? Immediate reward is going to be zero. Your dopamine is going to be low too. And then on the other hand, option B is like you can check your YouTube studio, you can watch TikTok, you can see email. The cost for you to do that is zero effort. The immediate reward, a potential good news, right? You can have some kind of a potential good news. That's what your mind is assuming. So your dopamine gonna go high spike. Your brain is designed to survive, right? It is designed to conserve energy and seek rewards. It will choose option B every single time because that's what it's designed to do. Unless you intervene, unless you have a protocol to override the biology. We are fighting against millions of years of evolution that tells us to seek the new thing. But in 2025, the new thing is basically just killing us. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Ali, I don't scroll. Ali, I don't scroll TikTok. I work hard. I'm productive. And this brings me to the most dangerous form of dopamine addiction, the one that hides in a plain sight, the one that tricks high performers. I call it procrastination in suit, or like kind of like a fake work. I'll give you a personal example that really hurts me to admit, but I'm here. Here I am. For the last year, I tried to build this channel, right? The Least Protocol, or you can call it the 2.8, my previous names of this channel. I wanted everything to be perfect on this channel, right? So every Sunday, I would sit down and work. I would set aside like 4 hours. I would tell my wife, hey, I'm working. Do not disturb me. These 4, 5, 6, 7 hours are mine. And what was I actually doing? I was organizing my Notion workspace. I was color coding my calendar. I was tweaking the lightings in my studio. This is not even a studio, this is just a room. But yeah, I was wasting time in tweaking the lights in the studio for like 45, 50 minutes. I was watching tutorials on how to edit better. I was rewriting the first sentence of the script like probably 40, 50 times. I felt so productive. My brain was lighting up. I was getting so much dopamine from the planning. The planning felt like a progress. The planning felt safe, to be honest. But you know what I was actually doing? I was using the planning to avoid the doing. So I was getting high on the idea of the video, right? So I didn't have to face the fear of actually recording it. I didn't have to face the fear of putting myself out there and being judged. But I'm just glad that I did, though. I don't know how I did it, but I did it for almost for a year, and I'm gonna do it for the next year too. So, planning actually gives you the dopamine hit of achievement without the risk of failure. It's the drug, you see? And I was an addict. I think I'm an addict still. I would spend hours preparing to work, and then when it was time to actually hit record, I would feel exhausted. I would look at the clock and say, oh, man, I worked hard today and I'm tired. I'll record tomorrow. Or how about I just record audio and just get it done with? That isn't fatigue. That is the dopamine crash. I burned all my neural energy on the fantasy of work. And I had nothing left for the reality of work. If you find yourself constantly researching, constantly buying new gear, constantly like reorganizing your to-do list, you aren't productive. You are just feeding the dopamine beast. with the different kind of food every single time, every single day, every single minute. And just like scrolling TikTok, it leaves you empty. It leaves you with blank space that you are so terrified to fill. So, why does this matter? Why not just enjoy the dopamine? Why not just let ourselves be distracted? Because of the cost. And the cost isn't just productivity. The cost isn't just that you didn't finish your project. The cost is connection. The cost is love. I want to go back to that moment with my wife when I look at her, right? And she is looking at me, waiting for the response, and I choose a screen over her face. I'm telling her something very specific. I'm sending a chemical signal to her brain, and I'm saying, this device, whatever I'm watching in this device, is more interesting and more important than you. I don't mean to say that. I love her more than anything, but my actions are screaming it. My brain has become so desensitized to high level of stimulation that the subtle, beautiful, slow joy of conversations, or like playing with my kid or just sitting and thinking, it just doesn't register anymore. It's like trying to listen to a whisper at a heavy metal concert. The noise of the dopamine is so loud that I can't hear my own life. I have become numb to real life because real life isn't edited to music. Real life doesn't have a scroll bar. Real life has awkward silences. Real life has boredom. Real life has a lot of thinking involved, right? And this is the tragedy. If we do not fix this, we are going to miss our own life. We are going to be present in a room but absent in our soul. So here's the verdict. We are dopamine addicts. We all are, all of us. We have lost the ability to tolerate the blank space, and because of that, we cannot do deep work. We cannot hold deep conversations. We cannot reach our potential. But here's the good news, and there is a good news. Brain is plastic. It is designed to change. It is designed to adapt. Your brain isn't broken permanently. It is just calibrated wrong. You can reset your baseline. You can get your focus back. You can learn to enjoy the silence again. But you cannot do it with willpower, if I'm honest with you. You cannot just try hard. You cannot just say, I'll be better tomorrow. You need a hard reset. You need a system shock. In the next episode, I'm going to walk you through the 24 hours reset. It is a specific protocol I used before and I'm going to use again to break this cycle. It is going to be painful. It is going to be boring. It's going to be the longest day of your life. But it is the only way to get your brain back. My name is Ali. This is Kaizen for Life. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.